It is currently 2:03 p.m. on Wednesday, February 25th, 2026, and this is going to be the first video that I ever upload to the Investor Bro channel. I'm currently in the process of getting my bachelor's degree in finance with the hopes of moving on to a master's degree in finance and an MBA. And I wanted to create this channel as a way to share all of the information that I learn on my studies, in my degree, and the things that I learn on my own free time in order to create a more digestible way for people to understand financial information. For some people, knowledge about finances and investing doesn't come naturally or easy to them. So I wanted to create this channel as a way for people to understand, and digest financial and investing information in a way that is simple and easy to understand. If I had learned and understood all of the knowledge and information that I know now about finances and investing when I first started making money after I got my first job at the age of 15, I would be in a way better financial situation than I am now. So, in a lot of ways, I'm creating this channel as a way to inform people on things that they can do and improve in order to set themselves up for a better financial future down the road. My videos are going to be covering a multiple array of different topics, ranging from very simple, easy to understand beginner topics to things that are extremely difficult or in depth to understand that require a lot of background knowledge. Most of my earlier videos are going to be covering beginner topics, things that are very important to understand before getting into the more advanced topics that I want to eventually go into. I've learned a lot researching finance and investing on my own and also during my studies in college and university. So I understand that learning about financing and investing can be confusing at times, especially regarding in-depth topics about, what are the common financial statements and how to interpret financial statements of large organizations and companies, which is the main reason why I'm making this channel because I really want to share this information with people because I really feel like that it's important information to understand and share, especially if you're interested in the, finance or investing world. And I really believe that understanding this information will lead to a better future, not just financially, but a future where your quality of life and happiness also improves alongside your finances. Personally, for me, the more that I've researched and experimented with financial and investment topics, the better off that I've been financially and the more comfortable I have felt in my day to day life. I believe that once you effectively get rid of any financial stress or burden that you might have, it allows you to easily move on to other things that might be affecting your life in a negative way and be able to handle those situations with a lot more focus, clarity, and intensity because you're not worried about your finances. For example, if you're currently going through health issues, it's a lot easier to go through those health issues without worrying about how you're going to pay your rent at the end of the month or how you're going to afford any of the medical treatments that you might be receiving. I believe that financial stress is very much the center of your health and well being. Once your financial stress is figured out, you'll be able to figure out any other problems that you might be facing in your life and attack them without worrying about anything else. This is why I'm making this topic the first topic that I talk about on my channel, which is going to be the topic that I'd like to call Why Learning About Financing and Investing Can Lead You to a Better, Happier Life. I believe that the more you learn and understand about financing and investing, the better off that you will actually be in all aspects of your life. I personally believe that the more you learn about finance and investing on your own, the more that you talk about it with the people around you, the better that your life can actually be. Whether you like it or not, we live in a capitalist society that revolves around the dollar. Even if finance or investing might not be something that you are personally interested in, it doesn't negate the fact that we live in a capitalist society where everything revolves around the dollar. I'm not sure what it's like in other countries, but in America, I can tell you that everything in our entire society revolves around money. It might not be as obvious in some situations, but everything that we do and everything that we want boils down to a transaction of some kind. When you go to work, you are trading your time for money. When you buy something, you are trading your money for a good or service, and then the cycle just continues to repeat itself in this giant circle. We live in a society where you literally have to pay money in order to eat food and drink water, which is literally the basic necessities for human life. Even if we do something such as donating our time to a nonprofit organization via volunteering, we're still actually affected by money in that scenario because we could be spending that time working instead of volunteering. The organization that we're volunteering for is also deeply affected by money. The more donations they take in, the more things that they can do in order to help their cause, and the more people that they can actually employ. It's safe to say that every single aspect of our lives is affected by money in some way or another. This is why I believe it's extremely important to understand how money works. That way, we can better understand how the world around us works, which will allow us to put ourselves in a better situation than we might have been if we hadn't learned how money actually works. In today's day and age, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to something as powerful as money. I want to take a moment to relay back to what I was talking about before when I was talking about how your knowledge of financing and investing can actually directly affect your happiness in your everyday life. Don't just take my word for it. Take a look at this post that was put up by the Harvard Business School talking about how money can actually buy happiness, or in parentheses, a life with less stress. I'm going to link this study in the description of this video, but it basically talks about how the more money you have actually results in the less stress that you experience in your everyday life. And when you stop to think about it, this makes a lot of sense in a logic perspective. The more money you have, the more problems that you can pay to have solved for you. The less problems that you face in your everyday life, the happier you're going to be. From a logic perspective, this makes total sense, but I wanted to dive deeper into the study and talk about the specific things that it shows lower stress. The study talks about how having more money reduces intense levels of stress. The study talks about three main things when it comes to having more money and how it relates to stress. The study states that having more money reduces the intensity of the stress that you might feel when being faced with a problem, having more money bringing greater control to your environment, and how your higher income can lead to a higher overall life satisfaction. The study also states that having more cash answers a lot of the problems that people end up facing. An important thing to understand is that bad things happen all the time, every single day. People experience bad things every day, such as job loss, car crashes, or personal injury that results in high medical bills. The likelihood that you, the viewer listening right now, have experienced at least one of those three things is extremely high. But having more money at your disposal means that when those negative events come up, you'll have a greater ability to deal with them rather than somebody who has little to no money. For example, if you have a lot of money and you lose your job, you're not worried about finding a new one anytime soon because you know that you'll be able to cover your rent and expenses. If you have a lot of money and experience something like a car crash, there's a very strong likelihood that you're able to afford auto insurance that will cover your car in case of an accident or injury. You'll also have more money to afford a new car whenever you want, instead of being strapped for cash and being unable to purchase a new vehicle whenever you get into a car crash. If you get a bad bill of health from a hospital or a doctor, you won't worry as much because you'll understand that you'll be able to pay for those medical expenses. The richer you are, the higher likelihood you also have health insurance, which can also help cover some of those medical expenses whenever they come up. It's safe to say that the more money you have, the better equipped you are to experience any of life's challenges, which actually helps relieve a lot of the stress that you might face regarding those events. There's also another really important topic mentioned in the Harvard Business School study that I mentioned, and it talks about the shame that people face when they actually have a lack of money. The study talks about how the poorest people in our society actually experience a great deal of shame regarding their finances. In our society, there is a stigma surrounding people that are unable to take care of themselves. This causes people in the worst financial situations to carry a lot of shame when interacting in our society. I believe that this statement regarding shame in this Harvard Business School study has a lot of merit because I have personally felt the effects of the shame that somebody can face when their financial situation is in turmoil. I personally have experienced a lot of financial hardship in my life to the point where my next meal was actually coming from a food bank rather than a grocery store because I literally could not afford groceries. Thankfully, I'm in a much better financial situation now, and I can afford to take care of myself and then some. But the shame that people can feel when they're experiencing financial hardship is very real. I remember when I was experiencing those financial hardships, I ended up harboring a lot of personal hatred towards myself, which caused me to experience the shame spiral that is described in this study. I was very deeply depressed during that time, and personally, for me, I will work extremely hard in order to never go back into that situation again. All of those negative emotions that I experienced are now fuel for me to move myself forward in a positive financial direction. If you've experienced something similar, I really hope that you can find value in my videos in order to elevate you and lift you out of that shame spiral into an area where you can actually feel like you are living and thriving in a positive way. This is why I believe having a good financial foundation will lead to an overall better and happier life. The more money that you have and the stronger that your financial foundation becomes, the better that your overall life satisfaction will be. This is why it's extremely important to learn as much as you can about finance and investing in order to live a life that is free of those financial hardships. My goal with this channel is to provide as much valuable information regarding finance and investing as I possibly can in order to help you feel more confident within your financial position. Because the more confident you are in a good financial position, the better overall life that you can have. I hope that the information that I'm able to provide to you is able to affect your life in a positive way. I hope that as I make more videos on this channel, I'm able to grow and cultivate a community where I'm able to see the positive impact of the information that I provide to people. I hope that with the more videos I make, the more comments that I get with people talking about how they've been able to improve their financial situation with the information that I provide to them. I hope that down the road, I can positively impact more people than I ever thought possible with the information that I provide in my videos. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's topic. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a future upload. Please like the video and comment down below any topics or interests that you might have regarding finance or investing, because I would love to clarify any questions that you might have or topics that you're interested in my future uploads. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.